Welcome to Financial Confidence for High-Achieving Women, the go-to podcast for women of color entrepreneurs overwhelmed by their finances and ready to transform their money mindset, take control of their money, and build sustainable wealth. I'm your host, Taryn, better known as T-Money, certified financial coach and CEO of Money Honey LLC. I believe that abundance is your birthright and that good money management doesn't mean cutting out the joy from your life. Stick around to learn how you can build intentional money habits that align with your biggest lifestyle goals. Let's get into today's episode. What should my next financial goal be? This is a question I am asked all the time by clients when they first start working with me. Let's dive into the right path to wealth. Hey y'all, hey. Welcome to episode 3 of the Financial Confidence for High Achieving Women podcast. I'm your host, Taryn, better known as T-Money, and today we'll be talking about the best next financial goals to pursue. Like I said, this question, I get it all the time, probably at least once a week, and definitely in a lot of the panels or speaking engagements that I do. Folks always want to know, what is the next best thing for me to pursue? What is the goal that I should be working on? And many are surprised by my response, and it's usually this. What do you truly want to experience in your life? Not what your family wants or what social media tells you to want. What do you truly want in your life? And I start there because I could easily list off, a few different financial goals or strategies or things like that. But truthfully, you'll be more motivated to achieve the goals that you set when they are things that you truly want to do. Or even as you probably heard before, you have a strong why behind them. And it is so important to get in there and decide. And sometimes with clients that I'm working with, this is the first time they've ever truly sat there and been like, okay, what do I actually want? Because I think sometimes we are encouraged to just get more money. And it's always like, okay, earn more, have a higher profit margin, have more income coming your way. It's always the focus on more. And that's where I really like to say, what are we doing this for? What is the ultimate goal of having all the money that we are after and that we are working towards? Because I'm sure you've probably heard so many stories about people who now have a good amount of money and then they're like, eventually I just didn't know what to do. I had so much that I didn't know what to do with all of it. And then they're just kind of sitting there, right? And so that's why it's good to come up with what you want to do before you even have all of it. Or even if you're somebody who does have that high net worth now and you're starting to figure this out, it's always a good time to ask yourself what you truly want. And that's been a big key to how I've even achieved a lot of the goals that I have. It just became so apparent that it needed to make sense to me. And it truly didn't matter if it made sense to everybody else when it came to my goals. So that's allowed me to reach them really quickly. And so, of course, one client that that really, I feel totally expanded through this. She went from thinking that, now that she was in this higher paying job and everything, that she needed to get a new car and, her family was encouraging her to, purchase her own house. And, she came to me asking that question, what do I need to do next? What's the right goal to pursue next? And through really talking about the things that excite her, that the way that she wanted her life to look, as I like to call it, it's the rich bitch vision, right? But as we did that exercise, she was like, you know what? I really want to increase my investments and I want to get an even higher paying job and I want to travel stress-free. And when we first talked about those things, and how those felt for her to be able to do that. She was like, it feels exciting for me. However, like, I'm worried about what my family will think, especially since I have a higher paying job than most of them do. And so what will they think if I'm out here like I need an even higher paying job? And, we talked about the feelings that are associated with that. And, it became like, well, they can support you regardless. At the end of the day, right? Our families, they want us to be happy and they want us to live a life that brings us joy and all those things, right? And sometimes that's not going to, I'll even just keep it real and say often that doesn't always align with the vision that they have for you. But it just means that you get to pursue it and allow them to see it later. And so that's what we started to work on. So she started to increase the amount each month that she was giving towards her investment. So she went from around like 500 to saving like 1,000, 1,500 or so per month. And then she started to apply for the job and she ended up getting a higher paying job, whoop, 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 which was really exciting. And the best part, well, I won't say it's the best part. It was definitely a lot of fun for me because I love doing this with clients anyway, was starting to plan out her travels that's stress-free for her so she can spend freely and not have to worry about, having to pay off a bunch of expenses later or feel guilty about the purchases that she was making. And so we laid out an entire plan of the types of souvenirs or things, experiences, and things that she may have wanted to do on that vacation, right? So in this case, it was Disneyland. And, she's like, oh, I feel like I'm going to end up spending, like $1,000 or right, for just like an example. And when we actually did the numbers, it was like even less than half of what she thought it was going to be. And so we just kind of put that out there. We were like, okay, it's going to be maybe like a couple hundred or so on like meals based off of where they were going and what they were doing during their trip. And then in addition to that, it was like, oh, I'm probably going to want to spend a couple hundred on souvenirs, but like, that's really it. And we have a tendency to think that things are going to be so much more expensive or they're just going to be so much bigger than they actually are. And so it was cool to see her process all of the actual charges that she's probably made, because we also went back and looked at previous trips, right? So like, what did you spend at Disneyland before? And it was like, oh, I guess it wasn't as much as I thought it would be. And so that was really fun. And so we talked about ways to also, save for travel, use points, things like that. So there are definitely investment and wealth growth strategies. I want to be very clear about that. However, I work with clients to make those fit into the vision of what they truly want. We have to start with the vision first. And it's not saying that has to be elaborate and fully detailed and all of those things, especially if you're into human design like me, then you know that some of us are meant to be very specific and some are non-specific when it comes to the things that they want to manifest in their life. And so it's just going based off of as many of the details that you have to create the plan of how we help money to work with you to make those a reality. And so then it becomes, okay, what do I need to organize within my finances? And how much is this going to be to reach the goals that I want to reach and to do the things that really excite me? Because when you are pursuing goals that light you up, that just bring you so much joy, you're going to reach them faster. And it's not going to be a situation of, oh, I wish I would have done this or that, or like scrambling last minute to try to make things happen. It's easier to intentionally do the work over time when you're really motivated to achieve these goals. And so the biggest thing, like I said, is we want to choose the goals that you are excited to pursue. And so for your action step today, I want you to write out the things and experiences you truly desire. This is not a time for judgment, okay? So you are not judging yourself. And you're not going to stop yourself. This is important, right? Do not stop yourself based off of how much you think something will be. This is just the time to write it down anyway. Okay. So write out the things and experiences you truly desire. And now choose the one where if you achieved it in the next year, it would be the most amazing accomplishment. That's the goal that you pursue first. Okay, so make sure you do this exercise so that way you can have money be your partner in achieving these goals versus, money being the thing that prevents you from reaching these goals. We got to switch that part around. Okay, so we always want to start with what we truly want to experience in life. We have more exciting episodes coming up for financial confidence for high achieving women. And I want to highlight a couple of them. So we are going to talk about the saving versus paying off debt first question that everybody always has. And then I also am going to talk to y'all about money dates. And so are you having money dates with yourself or your partner? We will find out in later episodes. If you are ready to take control of your finances like the rich bitch you are, I invite you to book a 90-minute Organize Your Money Honey intensive with me. You'll walk away with a crystal clear financial plan, a budget you'll actually stick to, and actionable steps to start saving and investing faster. You can book that at the link in the show notes. And with that, I will catch you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Financial Confidence for High Achieving Women podcast. I hope the insights shared in this episode have inspired you to take one small action step toward a more empowered relationship with money. If you're ready to take control of your finances like the rich bitch you are, I invite you to book a 90-minute Organize Your Money Honey intensive with me. You'll walk away with a crystal clear financial plan, a budget you'll actually stick to, and actionable steps to start saving and investing faster. Head to the link in the show notes to book your spot. I'm so grateful to be part of your financial journey, and I can't wait to see all the incredible moves you'll make. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.